Okay, so I'm really excited to interview you, Taylor. You have just graduated as a Master Spiritual Life Coach and Energy Psychologist. And throughout the course, I've been seeing you, watching you grow. And lately, you've just got really excited about all the changes that you've been making as a result of the course. You've moved on to the 7 steps to spiritual alchemy, which is so close to my heart. And you said it's really helping you grow and develop. So this interview is really to share your experiences through the course and just to let people know what it's like to train to be a spiritual life coach. It's not the same as training to be a traditional mindset goal orientated coach. This does really deep dive on the inner work. So I'm really excited for you to share your experiences with people. So just before we press record, you were like, so many changes have happened, so many, and I'm like, let me press record. So go
Yeah.
ahead, tell us what's been happening.
So just to give a bit of a background to how like I found Soul Awakening Academy and how it was just a perfect timing in my life, really. Um, I was a mental health nurse and I was starting to get a bit burnt out. I felt that I wanted to support people in a different way that was a bit more on my terms, more holistic, incorporated more spirituality. And Soul Awakening Academy come up, and I'd always been interested in like coaching and teaching, and I love supporting like the student nurses and stuff. And I read about the Master Spiritual Life Coach course, and I thought, I just had my intuition was just saying, you need to do it, you need to do it. And I'd put money in my savings, and the money I had in my savings was like more or less £50, give or take, the exact amount I needed. And I thought, right, this is just a sign from the universe. I've got to do it. And what really drew me in with the course, it wasn't like generic life coaching courses. It was very holistic. There was a lot of focus on like the spiritual elements, so like meditation, EFT, like your identity and purpose, and that really drew me in. So when I started the course, I going through the course, you're like coaching yourself anyway. So you're just taking yourself on a journey, and it was just a journey that I didn't expect to be as deep and transformative as it actually has been for me. Um, so yeah, I took it like initially with a bit of a pinch of salt, like, oh, this is more going to be doing it for other people. And yeah, it's just so I finished the initial program and I completely changed career. I left nursing entirely. It made me realize I wasn't actually nursing for myself. I'd gone into it because I felt like that was expected of me. That was what other people wanted me to do. I was very much looking for external achievements instead of like looking inwards and what I actually wanted. Um, so the course just before even moving on to the 7 steps, it massively changed my life in terms of my career. Just where I thought it was going has took a complete different direction.
Wow, that's so amazing. And yeah, I think a lot of people think, that they've got a course to get through. They'll maybe
Mhm.
tick the boxes, they'll get the certificate, and then they're off. And I always say to people, this was created from my own kind of healing, capacity,
Mhm.
where I went as deep as I possibly could with myself and with my clients, because that's the only way to make people have these major breakthroughs in their life. You can't touch the surface. You've got to go really deep to the root cause. And it's normally all based in the childhood, all
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
gorgeous limiting beliefs and conditioning we take on as kids. What have you found to be the most transformational for you personally throughout this course?
I think what it boils down to, and I think this is what all the changes have come from. I think I I was viewing all these like external achievements, so things like getting a degree, getting a master's, I was viewing that as I'll be accepted. I'll be that means I've done really well in life because I can say I've got a degree, I can say I've got a master's. And I think I was looking externally for that validation for achievements. And I think that for me is what's been the most transformative, is actually recognizing that I was doing that not for myself. And I think now all the steps that have come because of that. So like, actually, no, I don't actually want to be a nurse, and I was doing that for this external achievement. Say, oh, I've got a master's, and oh, because my family will think it'll look good, or because I'll feel proud to say I'm a nurse. So now all these steps have come as a consequence of me realizing something so basic, really.
It's so deep, isn't it? Because we
Mhm.
don't realize that the life that we are living
Mhm.
isn't actually through our own personal choice. And so many people live that
Yes.
way. And you're only a young girl, so it's
Mhm.
really helpful that you have this awareness and awakening at
Mhm.
this age so you can redirect your life rather than
Mhm.
some people never, or they get to a place where they think it's too late now anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who wants to live
Yeah.
that kind of life full of regret?
Absolutely.
I've met so many people along the way, clients and also corporate people who have been so defined by their family and the
Mhm.
conditions placed upon them that they've
Mhm.
just fitted into this mold. And it does lead to mental exhaustion and emotional burnout. And you can be so successful on the outside. I experienced this, yet so empty and unfulfilled on the inside. So, doing this deep work, you'll be able to kind of lead that way for other people who
Mhm.
are in a situation where they're like, this isn't the life that I should be living. Help
Mhm.
me. Because we don't know what we don't know.
Of course, yeah.
And when you learn the
Absolutely.
skills, you've got the map for people to help them unpack their life. So, now you've moved on to the 7 steps to spiritual alchemy because you said at one point, I've hit a wall now. I don't even know. I think at one point you said, I don't even know if coaching's for
Yeah.
me. I don't.
Yeah. Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us what happened and then what made the breakthrough.
I think because so following on from finishing the Master Spiritual Life Coach section, like the that course, because so many changes come from that. There's so much like oh my god, like I think when I started the 7 steps, I was scared because I some of the journaling prompts and the videos I was watching, I knew that I was going to have to go very deep with the 7 steps, and there was so much resistance every time I sat down to watch one of the videos or do one of the journaling prompts. I'd just shut down and I'd distract myself or I'd procrastinate or I'd think of something else, and then it was like, oh, actually I don't even want to do coaching. I don't want to do this. Like I'll spend time doing something else, and it was just constant resistance. I'd probably say for about a month I was so reluctant to do it, and then I really sat down with myself and I just journaled on why I was procrastinating. I'm terrible with that word. And it was because I didn't want to, I think I was scared of what else was going to come up and then what changes were going to happen as a consequence of that. Um and then I started the 7 steps. I started with the root chakra, and now I'm at the throat chakra now. And just the amount of stuff that's come up from that is unbelievable. And like I said to you, you know how passionate I am about that. I cannot wait to deliver that program to other people. Um, just stuff that like I wasn't aware of, but then the healing aspects of it, it's so transformative. The 7 steps, it's on another level.
I absolutely like the 7 steps was I'm so passionate about the 7 steps,
Mm,
and you've still got the awakened heart healing to go. So it's like the 7 steps is like an unlayering, but then
mhm.
the awakened heart healing goes actually even deeper than the 7 steps. So it's very much around helping you decondition. How have you experienced the 7 steps? Because everybody will experience it differently, but what are you getting from it personally?
I think it's a lot. I think it's going a lot deeper than so with the Master Spiritual Life Coach, like it was uncovering for me how even though like verbally I say to people like, oh, I don't care what other people think, and oh, like I don't do things to please other people. I think the Master Spiritual like Life Coach uncovered that for me, that I was doing a lot in my life to please other people. And I think the 7 steps now is making me realize, where that actually started. So that's what's helping me with. It's making me realize, okay, I recognize now where that belief come from when I was a child, and being praised in school for doing this and being a good girl and not speaking out, because that's something that you good girls do. Good girls don't speak out and say how they feel. So I think the 7 steps for me is helping me realize where these beliefs have come from, and recognize actually it wasn't that's not me, it's come from that teacher's view pushing it on me, or um when it comes to more like secondary school, for example, like I've always been really into crystals and the moon and spiritual side, and I realized when I got to about 14, 15, that was pushed aside because that wasn't what was socially accepted. So I think the 7 steps is really making me realize where all these beliefs and changes have come from, and realizing this isn't actually my true self.
Definitely, and that's what it is. So, just for people listening, the 7 steps works on the 7 chakras, and the first kind of 4 chakras have a psychological kind of unfolding. So, an age range, a physiological and psychological age range where it kind of opens and becomes imprinted. So, we start from even being in the womb at the root for the first 7 years, what was happening, 7 to 14 for the sacral, etc., in 7 year cycles. And, you can see all of the imprint from the environment, from the stress the family had, the beliefs the main caregivers had, to the way you took on these beliefs, and then that creates your behavior, which then you identify as the true self, which is just not. So it's like peeling all these experiences back that have created a belief system that have resulted in a false reality. When you get to the heart of it, it's like really is finding the authentic self and living from that place. And have to say sometimes we all still carry, you know, we all still have to fit into society, and there's, hierarchies, rules, regs, um, and we do still. I still probably give a fuck about what people think, but on the whole, I don't give a fuck about what people think anymore. And I used to so
Hmm.
heavily have a voice inside my head. What will your mother think? Will that be accepted? Are you going to be alienated? Oh,
Hmm.
so heavy internal dialogue that actually drove the decisions I made about my life choices, about my career, about my studies, about partners. Every choice was made not from the true self, but from this internal dialogue of fear, shame, rejection, abandonment wounds. And most people live that way unconsciously. And when they wake up to it, they realize, who the fuck am I?
Yeah, a
That's where
hundred
the
percent.
work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's exactly what's going on at the moment. I'm realizing, oh, this is actually me. I remember that this was me before all of this stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. There's so much we could talk about, but what do you
Hmm.
want to do going forward? Like, do you have any plans yet? Can you see yourself running the 7 steps in retreats and circles?
I think I think especially I know that there's so many other nurses that feel similar to me, that their entire identity is based on being a nurse. Like you see it a lot with, like, I don't know, mums will frequently say, I'm a mum. It's like, but that's not your entire identity. And I think I'm gonna I've created like a bit of a recovery from burnout PDF for other nurses that are feeling the same as me. And then I would like to support nurses transitioning from nursing to other careers that feel like their entire identity has been based on being a nurse, and now struggling with that identity change to, this isn't necessarily my purpose, this isn't my whole identity. So for
Mm.
me, that's my focus on supporting nurses with that transition.
Yeah, I love that. That is so clear and concise and will resonate so deeply. So
Mhm.
I'm so happy to hear you say that. So from
Mhm.
where you were like, coaching isn't for me, you've
Yeah.
actually just nailed your market. So that's brilliant. Well done. Oh
Well,
gosh.
thank you.
I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy for you. I've seen, how you've been dedicated to this
Mhm.
and your own personal growth. So only good things are waiting for you from here on in, I'm sure, where this is concerned and where it'll take you. So what would you say to people who are on the fence, or like, don't know, the biggest thing I hear is, I don't know if I can do it or if I'll be any good, confidence issues. Everybody starts off absolutely cacking themselves and believes they're not going to be any good. So what would you say to answer that question?
Everyone's in the same boat. I think when you first start and you see the first little assessment bit, you're like, oh my God, I can't do it. You can do it for a start, you absolutely can do it. And I think you were so supportive, Anne Marie, in terms of any questions that I've had, any apprehensions about anything, I've messaged her and you've always got back straight away and reassured me. It's very, the Soul Awakening Academy, especially the master coach circle, it's such a supportive environment where you're all on the same page. Everyone feels nervous about it, but I think having that community and the opportunity to make friends and speak with other people that are doing the same as you and practice with each other, it's so helpful. So I'd 100% recommend just signing up to the course, because the support is second to none. It's
Yeah.
completely changed my life, Anne Marie. So I can imagine for other people that are questioning it, just do it, because it'll change yours.
It's a lovely community on there, and people make
Yeah.
lifelong friends, which is amazing because it's online and you think, oh, how is that going to happen?
Yeah.
How can I connect? But people make lifelong friends on
Mm.
there, and it's just gorgeous to see. Everybody is really supportive.
Yeah.
There are tons of activities. You get so much in your coaching toolkit,
Yeah,
because
you
I
do.
know how it feels to think, what am I going to say when
Yeah.
a client turns up? So I'll make sure that you have everything nailed.
Mhm.
And these coaching programs that you can go and deliver. So people don't know it at the start, but at some point their mind expands when they get used to coaching. They're like, what next? Um,
Mhm.
and I'm always, what next? Like, what can I
Yeah.
create next? So these coaching programs that you've got access to, you can really scale your coaching business with them. I've used them with one-to-one clients, and I've used them in retreats as well. You can do workshops, groups online. So the world's your oyster with these programs. Um, and you get that healing transformation, which is
Yeah.
obviously what they're designed to do. So watch this space for you, Taylor.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, and it's all thanks
Yeah.
to you.
Have you set up a company yet, or are you taking clients, or?
Yes, so I'm in the process of developing a 12-week course. So I've got a mini 4-week one at the moment, which is for recovering from burnout. So
Awesome.
this is like based on my experience again. So the 4 weeks one's more going to be suited for people that they're not looking at changing career at the moment, but they need that immediate relief from how they're feeling. And I'm in the process of developing a 12-week course, which is more for supporting nurses that are wanting the career change or having problems with their identity in terms of they're just identifying as a nurse. So that's in the process at the moment. But yeah, so the 4-week offer is there at the moment. So definitely taking on clients.
How can people find you then? What are you under?
So I'm on TikTok and Instagram. So on Instagram, it's Aligned Coaching with Taylor. And on TikTok, it's Taylor Jane 95.
Gorgeous. All right. Well, hopefully people can find you there and follow you, and see what all the amazing stuff you're doing. Thanks so much for your interview, Taylor.
Thank you, Anne Marie. No, it's really appreciated.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'll see you soon, darling. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye for now.